sitting there since 8 a.m. I was working really hard. I just fed the horses. I will scatter some treats so I can sit here and enjoy my horses. I know it's getting a little dark, but it's really good to have a little Coca-Cola. I normally don't drink cola, but today I will celebrate. They are having a little bit of resource guarding because I scattered a very yummy treats all over the place, but there's more than enough also for you, Fionn. You don't have to be afraid that you won't get anything. And today, let's see if I can make some room here for me to sit. It's all icy. Let's see. Let's see if my coat is long enough to sit on. Yes, it is. I can sit. Of course, it is hard for you to see the horses. Let me see if I retouch. That's not it. Yeah, I don't see that I can adjust the lighting settings. But yes, I pivoted with HippoLogic horse training and I narrowed it down to doing clicker training for rescued horses. These two are my rescued horses. They came from the SPCA. Especially Fionn. He had his struggles. I've talked to other people with miniature horses and they told me horrible stories about how many horses are trained here in Canada. She got terrible bad advice from her the breeder that she bought a miniature horse from. It was like horrible. I can't remember the details, but it was like, yeah, just tie them up and then tie a rope around their feet and then you can clean their feet. I'm like, because they're small, you can manhandle them, and that's your advice as a breeder. I just couldn't believe my ears. It's so horrible. Fionn, for instance, he has still some traumas from his past now. Not only rescue horses can have traumas, but for him, what was really specific was that every time you touch his left bum cheek, he started to hit. He started to kick me. I couldn't touch him there. It was, I don't know. First, I thought, oh, maybe there he has a sore spot. Maybe he's in pain. But on the other side, that was like totally not a problem. So I reduced that aggressive behavior with positive reinforcement. But I did it in a way that he was always free to walk away, and sometimes he did. They still both don't like to be groomed, even though they have beautiful mane. Um, they allow me, and this is resource guarding, but it's very mild. They had terrible resource guarding when I got them, and the advice was because they came from a place with 5 grown horses, and the grown horses were emaciated. So I think because they're small, they don't need much to kind of survive, but they had terrible food manners, non-existent. They were just very aggressive around food. And I solved that. Um, yeah, I solved that. Yeah, just like you just saw, like there is still some resource guarding, but it doesn't include kicking, biting, physical violence anymore. Well, when I got them, the advice was never ever, just don't put them together in a stall and don't feed them together. And I'm like, okay, okay, I won't do that the first hour. Um, but now that's all solved. And when you have a rescue horse, there's often so much that are challenging, even more than when you just buy a horse and you can pick and choose or whatever the story is that you ended up with, like a non-rescue horse or a rescue horse. When you choose a rescue horse, there's usually more challenges, not always, but usually more challenges involved, usually something with um, behavior issues, or they are super shut down. And it can be hard to connect. Since I'm in Canada, I've been always involved in training and rehabilitating horses with positive reinforcement. And I worked for different animal rescues, and I trained clicker trained animals there. I clicker trained a mule, llamas, alpacas, many horses, occasional donkey, and yeah. So I pivoted and I narrowed it down. Not just general horse people anymore, but yeah, I would really like to focus on horse people who have rescue horses, because they all have a story to tell. And usually it's also, you also have to tell the story. Um, you almost have to explain to people why you chose this horse. Like, I even have to explain why I have minis. Why do you have minis? You can't ride them. Why do you have them? And because they're small, they understand that I don't ride my horses. Um, but often I'm asked to explain that choice. And for non-horse people, I can understand. They just don't understand, and then they say, "Oh, it's just like a big dog." Then I'm like, "Okay, yeah, it's not a big dog. It's completely different than a big dog. It's the same as a normal horse, full-size horse, but okay." But yeah, when you have adopted a rescue horse, usually there's not much riding. In the beginning, some horses have traumas. You have to explain all kinds of things. People, even if you have a full-size horse, then it's even weirder not to want to ride your horse, or choose not to ride your horse, or choose to not do certain things anymore because you've discovered that your horse doesn't like it. And so I created today a Facebook group, Clicker Training Rescued Horses. If you want to be check it out, feel free to join if you have a rescue horse. If you worked with rescue horses, you're free to join me in the group. I would love to hear your stories about your rescues, and what challenges you have encountered, or what kind of remarks you get from fellow horse people. I know some people can be very judgmental, um, but that's okay. That's not only horse people. Um, but yeah, I think it's good to have a group in which you are valued for adopting a horse that may or may not have some physical or behavioral challenges. and you don't have to explain it to a peer group because we all understand it. The only thing requirement is that you want to retrain and help your horse adapt with positive reinforcement. I've helped that. Positive reinforcement has done so much. I trained horses, adoption horses for the SPCA. And in the beginning, I thought, like, oh, what if I clicker train the horse to be haltered or to lift his legs or, some other common husbandry skills to make them more adaptable and to increase their adaptability. Um, I thought when I started, I thought maybe this is a pitfall because the horses will only do it for me. Because that's often the case with traditional training and training with aversives. Then the horses only do it for that trainer because they are afraid of that trainer and they know what will happen if they don't do what that trainer says. And then that doesn't necessarily transfer that behavior to other people. With positive reinforcement, that's completely different. Once a horse has learned that behavior, he wants to perform that behavior for anyone. Um, so that was really, really amazing. And when people like the horse more because they were not afraid of them, it makes them more adoptable. It's good to have a horse that is cute and oh, this is not sharp. Just zoom out. It's nice to have a horse that other people like too. It's not nice to have a horse that is like the super asshole of the barn. And nobody wants that. Unless he's super cute for you, but it's way easier for you and for your horse if your horse can get along with all kinds of people. So yeah, it's getting dark. It's the end of the story. Thank you so much for here. Hi everybody. Your horse is so cute. Thank you so much, Loom Tune. I totally agree with you. Well, thank you. And if you subscribe, I will do more training with my rescues. And I'm doing trick training at the moment, but I will also tell more about husbandry skills, like teaching like how to lift their legs with positive reinforcement, the challenges that I overcome. And if you subscribe, then you will get an email every time I go live. So if you like to join me the next time I go live, I don't have a schedule. I just go live whenever I have time and I want to do it. So if you subscribe, then you will get an email. Just say hi. Say hi, Fionn. It's too dark now. Let's see if I can flashlight. Yeah. Ooh. I will blind you. Yeah. Sorry. It's a little bit. Not sharp anymore. I think it's a little bit moist. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So this is Fionn. Yes. And this is Owen. And hi to you. Hi. Bye. Bye bye. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Happy horse training.